Hello you guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my monthly budget. I'm so excited to be bringing these videos back. If you just watched the reset, which came first, you guys would know that I am having a little, we're shaking shit up this month, okay? We're shaking it up. And I have been missing filming my monthly budget videos, but they just felt very short and empty because I was closing out my budget from the previous month in my reset, and then I was just setting up my new month budget in the budget video. But I felt like unless you watched the monthly reset, you wouldn't have seen how the previous month went. Then I had a little light bulb moment and I was like, wait, why don't I take that out of the monthly reset and we can kind of close out the previous month and then set up a new month together in one video. I feel like that flows a lot better and just makes more sense. And then the people who want to watch the finance videos can, they don't have to. Here we are. I'm super excited. I'm just pulling up my spreadsheet right now. Yeah, I honestly wasn't even gonna film this month because I feel like we're in this phase where I'm not saving for anything in specific, and I really struggle with that. I don't do well with that. I do really well with goals, but at the same time, while I'm still making my investing minimums, trying to buy and sell your house without knowing how much you're gonna buy and sell for is really hard because obviously, buying a second time, we don't have any first-time homebuyer incentives, so we have to pay a lot of closing costs, but we're not going to know how much we're paying out of that out of pocket till we know how much we're buying for and how much we're selling for. And yeah, so I've just been kind of holding back on investing a ton of money because I want to have some of my savings readily available in case we need to use it for closing costs. What's going on right now, but I think it's important to share because I get a lot of questions being like, what do you save for when you don't have anything to save for in specific? And I don't know, maybe this would help someone out. So I'm really excited to jump into it. If you're new here, hi, my name's Carter. I'm 26. I talk all about getting through life in your 20s unfiltered. I found my love of personal finance in 2020. I was drowning in consumer debt. I had an impulse spending problem, and I hustled to pay off my student loans and my consumer debt and learn about investing. And then we bought our first house in 2021, and my fiance is like very financially literate, so I've learned a ton from him, and I'm just learning as we go. And I feel like it's really cool to see how the budgets have evolved over time, even with the business, right? At one point I was a sole proprietor, and so all my business money was coming into my personal account. Now I pay myself minimally from the business to keep the money in the business account. And I went from working 2 full-time jobs to working a part-time corporate job, and it's just like crazy to see how things have honestly evolved. So let's jump into it. We're gonna start with closing out August. We'll go over that and whatnot, and then we will jump into making our September budget. Welcome to my August budget. I am really proud of myself this month. Like really proud of myself, and we're gonna jump into it. So I don't even know where to start because I'm so proud of myself. Like, I feel like I don't tell myself that enough. Here are the overviews here in case you guys are interested. Like I said, I pay myself minimally from the business to keep a lot of that in my business account since we do travel for work and stuff a lot. That's not how much the business made, that's how much I paid myself. Paycheck wise, my paychecks were bigger than usual. If you guys are new here, I work a part-time corporate job. I kind of consider myself a freelancer, so I have to clock at least 2.5 hours a week. That's what my job, like, I'm contracted for, but I can work up to the normal work week, which a normal work week is 7.5 times 5, it's 37.5. So that's why my pay fluctuates depending on the week. And we also just got a 4% raise, which is very exciting. So my paychecks were a bit more than I anticipated, which meant that I could pay myself less from the business because I try and live off of my corporate income as much as possible. So my income was actually less than expected. And it's funny because if you had told me a year ago that, I would have been like really sad. But now, the lower my income on the personal side, the better because of taxes. So I got a check from Canada Post because they lost one of my packages that I was mailing back. So that's what the $115 is for. Let's jump into my expenses. So proud of myself. Groceries are my biggest downfall, and I do have an impulsive spending video coming soon, but I'm really proud of myself this month. I really just tried to not step foot in the grocery store if I didn't have to. A lot of this is actually just groceries I split with Matt. Like, we'd go together and then I'd send him half. Meal delivery, a little bit lower than usual just because we actually switched back to Chef's Plate, and they were giving us like I go back and forth because they're always offering coupons. Chef's Plate was sent me an email the other day and was like, if you come back you can get 50% off your boxes for the next like 6 weeks. I was like, sold. So I paused my HelloFresh, went back to Chef's Plate. Then if you guys were watching the vlog, there was one week where our HelloFresh like sat in the warehouse for like 2 days, and when we got it, it was like melted, so they gave us a refund on that week, so that's why it's a bit lower. Eating out, not much. My fiance and I take turns paying, and it just so happened this month I think he paid for a bit more eating out. Coffee shops was a bit over, but that's fine. Appointments was a bit lower. I actually just found a new nail salon near me, and they're a little bit cheaper, which is great, and they still do a good job, which I love. My nail salon books like 3 or 4 weeks in advance, and not that my life is like that busy, but I'm the kind of person that like once one nail chips, I gotta get them fixed, and I can't be waiting 3 to 4 weeks. So perk, it's closer to me, and it's a bit cheaper. Health and wellness, I didn't really need much this month. Shopping, I spent a little bit. It's okay. Treating others, I didn't really spend much. I don't even know what $11 was for. Oh, I paid for Matt's movie. We went to go see Haunted Mansion. Gas, I didn't get any gas this month. Home, we spent a bit more because we ended up doing the guest room, which was a bit spontaneous. But you guys know I'm really into this like conscious budgeting, where I'm really proud of myself because this is something I've really worked on a ton, and I haven't really been like making strides towards. And with this whole conscious budgeting mindset, or intuitive, obviously we buy a lot of stuff used. I talked about this in the video, but we bought the daybed, and then we had to, you know, furnish the daybed because the house is for sale. We couldn't leave the daybed just empty. But in my head, I was like, okay, my priority is the home this month. I'm going to spend a bit less in other categories. And I was actually able to do a really good job at that. So I'm really proud of myself for that. Normally, I would just be like, well, fuck it, we're just going to go over budget. Like, I'll just be gung-ho in every category. But I was really conscious. And I think this is the lowest credit card bill I've had in a while. I'm usually at like the $1,500, $1,600 range. So that's really good. I did pay for tuition, but I didn't really count that because I put money aside for tuition and then I paid for it, and like it equaled itself out. Like I wasn't using money from my paychecks to pay for tuition, so I didn't even include that in here. And there's a few things here and there I paid for in cash, which you guys know we don't count either. Bills are all the same. I haven't actually paid our baby bills yet, which is just my cute way of saying utilities. It's usually about $200. Okay, let's get to savings and investments. I hit everything actually right on the nail. I forgot to update that. That makes way more sense. I was like, why do I have $700 left to spend? We're working on replenishing the emergency fund because we took a big chunk of that for house deposits. So we're working on replenishing that back up. Kind of cut, I was doing $500 for each TFSA and RSP, but I cut it down just in the meantime while we're figuring out the house stuff, just to have some extra money on hand if we need it. So I did $250 in each, and then obviously if we don't end up moving, we take the house off the market or something, I'll just take that excess amount of money and like throw it into my investments. Overall, I'm like, this is probably the month I'm the most proud of myself. Honestly, I am so proud of myself. But if you look at the total breakdown, my investments 12.8. I like to see them between 10 and 15, so that's great. Savings 12.8. like I'm just really proud of myself this month, and I don't say that enough. So I'm really proud of myself in August. I really think I did a good job, and I'm so happy. I feel like no one ever says this. I'm so happy I was able to pay myself like less from the business. I usually end up having to pay myself about $2,000 to $3,000 because I also am like subsidizing the difference from working a full-time corporate job. So I'm really proud of that. I was like really able to live off my corporate job as much as possible this month. So super happy with August. Let's jump into September. Kind of like August, she's like very up in the air, and so this is kind of more of my budgeting when like things are super up in the air in terms of like big financial decisions, like buying a house and selling a house. I'm going to put my pays up to, I'm going to put them up to $1,300 because I know I'm going to be working a few extra shifts. I'm just not sure how much. And you guys know I always try and budget as much as I can off of my corporate job. I like to do a bit of a reverse budget, so I'll basically budget everything out, and obviously right now it's in the negative, and then I know how much to pay myself, so I'm not overpaying myself and, you know, overspending. I envision my paychecks being more like $1,400, $1,500 because I am doing some travel for work, but I always like to undershoot it because then if I get overpaid, that's great. Bills are always the same. I actually think our condo fees, I actually think they might be more this month. I feel like Matt, I think that the automatic deposit was coming out for our, we had like a snow removal fee this week or this year. How much is the snow removal fee that they're taking out in September? Okay, well, he's gonna get back to us hopefully soon so I can update that, but our condo fees will be higher this month because we want to pay this like special assessment fee before anyone buys the place so that they don't have to pay it. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait and see how much that is. Okay, he just had 361 and we always split bills like that. So I'll do 180 and then 185. So we'll do 375 to be safe. And then expenses. Before I budget my expenses, this is just like leftover from last month because I copy and paste the spreadsheet. I always check my calendar to see what we have going on so it can be as accurate as possible. And obviously things come up, which is why I love to follow more of like a conscious spending plan in which I have like an amount around that I like my credit card to be at that I know I can comfortably pay off. And it's our anniversary. So those are just some things to consider for September. I always like to lay out my Google Calendar and kind of just see what's going on in September. I'm gonna put 200 and see if I can stick to it because I was like $3 over this month, which means $200 is pretty reasonable. Oh wait. No, I'm gonna put 250. I forgot that we're having like a, well, when you guys are watching this, we're just getting home, but we're having like a little weekend getaway with Matt's family and we are in charge of like, I think 1 meal. So I'll just account for that 50 bucks. Meal delivery, I'm gonna put 250 only because I am trying Factor out for lunches. Eating out, I'm gonna put 200 because it's our anniversary, which knowing us, we're hoping to get like Five Guys or something because we don't like to go eat out for dinner a ton and we have gift cards too. But we are going to be eating out, I think, one night when we're out with Matt's family. So I'll put 200 to be safe. Coffee shops, 50 is like pretty average for me. Appointments, I will probably get my nails done, so I'll put 45. Health and wellness, I'm actually going to put 100 because I do need to restock on my probiotics. That's another thing I do too, is I take inventory of anything I buy out of pocket. So prescriptions are obviously covered, but probiotics, face wash, face cleanser, moisturizer, supplements, anything I think I'm running out of, and I will take inventory for that too before I budget. So I know that I have to get probiotics. Treating others, Matt and I don't do presents or anything for our anniversary anymore, so I'm actually not really gonna do that. We don't do cards either. I find cards get so repetitive, so I think we're just gonna leave that. No one's birthday that I'm really bad with birthdays, you guys. I'm not gonna lie, so I don't think there's anyone's birthday. I don't know. I'm gonna leave that. The kids should be fine. I do need to make Stella's vet appointment actually. She might need kibble. Let's put 50. I think she needs kibble. Gas and car, I'm gonna put 150. Yeah. I only get gas like every 6 weeks, but I feel like we're gonna have a lot of driving between going to Tremblant this weekend. Yeah, so I'm gonna play it safe with 150. Home, I'm gonna budget guys, I don't think this was adding up. I need to change this. So like this number's not changing. We need to hold up. There we go. I was like, why does this like not look right? Home, I'm gonna also put 200 in case we thrift anything just to be on the safe side. Wedding engagement, 0. Books, I'll put, books is hard because if I buy books for a video, it's a write-off, but I'll put 20 for Kindle books. And I think that's like pretty average. Yeah, that's a good idea. All right, and then once again, we're kind of in this like, not boring, we're in like a waiting period where we're not making any like aggressive savings moves or investing moves, but I am going to do $500 into my savings, my emergency fund, and then my usual $250 in each of these. And then my goal is at the end of the year to make a lump sum to my TFSA and RRSP. So after doing all that, it'll say that I'm negative $1,800, and so I'll basically put here 2,000, and then that will even us out, and that's how I know how much to pay myself from the business. In an ideal world, I love paying myself less than that, honestly, if I can help it. Like in a really ideal world, I would like to just pay myself from the business enough for my savings, but because I did take a part-time corporate job to focus on YouTube more, I do have to supplement that income still. So anyways, that is what September is looking like. I'm not gonna lie, I'm like totally living for this filming setup. I think it's like the perfect little cozy spot, and there's just something about this little corner that makes me so excited for fall. I think maybe next month, a lot of you guys were asking, like I said, if I could do like how I do my business finances, and I'm thinking of trying to find a way to incorporate that without like going too much into detail. So let me know if you guys want to see that. But yeah, my priorities right now really are replenishing that emergency fund. I don't know why, you guys, I had like literally a silly girl moment, I'm not gonna lie, where I don't know why, but our second house, I was just like, oh yeah, we don't have to pay a deposit. And so then when we would put an offer on a house, they were like, oh, you need to send us like $5,000. I was like, wait, what? I don't know why I thought for your second house you didn't. I don't know what I was thinking, but that kind of came as a little bit of a shock. And I don't do well with like uncertainty. And so right now I'm in this phase where when you don't know how much you're selling your house for and buying for, there's like a lot of unknowns, and we have comfortable numbers in mind that we need to sell this house for and to buy for, because we're hoping to buy cheaper. But the first time you buy a house, you don't pay land transfer tax, so we have to take that into consideration. Then we have to take consideration lawyer fees on both ends, so double the lawyer fees. And we're both just sitting in a lot of financial uncertainty right now. And so it's super important for me to start beefing up my emergency fund again. I like it. Originally was at about 5,000, but then obviously 2,500 came out for the deposit because we split that. So I'm hoping to get it back up to about 5,000, 7,500 maybe. Because I'm not like aggressively paying off any debt, I'm wondering if I should beef up my emergency fund. But also investing is also a big priority in me right now, so I'm not too sure. But right now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm just coasting. And that's okay sometimes. And I do get asked whenever I ask for like financial Q&As, like what I do when I have no like specific goal in mind. And this is kind of it. I just make sure to be doing my minimums with savings and investing. And then I set this in my monthly reset, but I didn't set any financial goals for this month just because I'm really taking this month to focus on YouTube and content and enjoying fall and all that stuff. So I'm kind of taking a break from those big financial goals right now, and it feels kind of nice honestly once in a while to have a bit of a financial reset. Let me know down below what one of your financial goals is for September, or a win that you had recently. I would love to know. And let me know if you guys like this way of spacing out the content with the resets and the budget with me's, and I would love your feedback. And yeah, but I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.